Hi, Patrick. How are you?
Hey, good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for joining.
Awesome.
We are going to be live in like a minute. So I've already started the session, and we'll go live in like about a minute. Okay.
Sounds good. I thought your video was just a fake video background, for instance. At first, I didn't know it was actually you.
Yeah, that's me. Yeah.
Awesome. Sounds good.
Hi, Vivek. How are you doing? Can you hear me clearly, Vivek? So hi, everyone. We are today going to talk with the founder of Upticks. That's Patrick. Patrick is here with me. We're just going to have one more team member from Upticks joining. His name is Vivek. I think there seems to be some technical issue, but I know there is a lot of interest in Upticks. So in the interest of time, we'll go over the live demo, and you'll get to ask any questions and queries as well regarding the Upticks plan, features, and get to know Patrick. So very rarely we are so excited about a platform. I know Upticks looks very, very promising, has a lot of features, especially when it comes to sales. All this platform is very, very important what you select. So I'm looking forward to learning from Patrick. And Patrick, why don't you give a quick introduction about yourself, and then we can get started.
Yeah, absolutely. Just want to make sure you can hear me first.
Yeah, we can
Awesome.
hear you very clearly. Yes, I can hear you clearly.
Sounds good. Well, thanks for having me. My name's Patrick. Obviously, I'm the founder at Upticks. Upticks has been in development for a little while now, and started actually when I had my sales agency, and we were piecemealing a bunch of softwares together, and it just got challenging to execute on our goal to generate appointments and sales. So we started building the product that is now Upticks, and ultimately our goal is to consolidate sales softwares into an all-in-one sales automation platform and hub, I guess, for really anything B2B sales. So we'll be really focused on the sales department. So,
okay, cool. Okay, so before some of you have a question, Upticks is currently available on Saasmantra. It's not launched on AppSumo, which we typically see. So it's on Saasmantra. Patrick, feel free to get one of your team members, Vivek or Dan, to leave a link in our community. And, so you can visit Upticks website, as well as you can go on Saasmantra and purchase the deal. So thanks, Patrick. I think there still seems to be some issue Vivek is having. So let me see. Vivek, can you hear us clearly at all? Hi, Vivek. How are you?
Hi, Patrick. Hey, I'm sorry, Nilesh, right?
Yes, that's English. How are you doing?
Yeah, I can hear you, and I'm doing great. Actually, I was outside, so I didn't know we had this, but yeah, I'm here, and
thanks, bro.
actually,
Yeah, no problem.
Thanks for back.
I'm sorry about that, Patrick.
It's no problem.
So
It's no problem. Thanks for joining.
Yeah.
So I can hear some traffic noise. I think you're joining from India. That's great.
Rebecca, if you can mute, that would be great.
Yeah. It's okay. It's okay, Patrick. All good. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So that's some feedback for you. Maybe when you're talking, you can unmute yourself, and but that's cool. Thanks for joining. I really appreciate you joining. So Patrick, so can you tell me a little bit about why have you launched on Saasmantra, and give us a little bit background about Upticks, how long you have been developing the platform, what made
Yeah.
you develop an outreach platform, like in almost like a multi-channel, omni-channel kind of outreach
Yeah.
platform. Yeah.
Yeah, good question. So I've actually known Sam for about a year now. We met last summer sometime, and I can't remember. I think it was just a Facebook group or something. I had an opportunity, of course, to meet with him, get to know Saasmantra a little bit, and I did actually meet with AppSumo as well. And I decided not to launch on AppSumo. They wanted to launch us, and ultimately the relationship I'd built with Sam was probably the selling point. And I guess I'll just put the cards out there. I personally didn't want to sell too many lifetime deals, and I wanted to sell just enough. Obviously, most people selling lifetime deals, we're really just using it for feedback, of course, pressure test our system, work out kinks and stuff like that. It wasn't a revenue generator. It's not a revenue generator for us. And ultimately, the relationship that I had built with Sam over the last year, combined with not wanting to sell that many lifetime deals, I know that sounds weird. It was probably the reason why I decided to go with Saasmantra, was really those two reasons.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
good choice. I think that, I mean, I've seen a lot of good platforms being launched on Saasmantra recently. I mean,
Yeah.
AppSumo, of course, is the big guys, but good
Yeah.
choice. We have a very lively community, so as soon as something good shows up anywhere, it gets discussed in the group. So we've been talking for like last week or so. So I'm glad we could get you into a live session in the community as well,
Awesome.
right? So.
Yeah.
So, like, there are a lot of outreach platforms. I mean, some of the things which and outreach platforms, I'm a big fan of outreach platforms because that's our methodology as well when it comes to selling in my other business, when it comes to cold calls, or some sort of an outreach. Everybody needs it, especially if you're doing any type of professional services,
Yep.
then certainly that's the best way, because not necessarily cold emails are always read, right? So what made you develop your own platform? Were you having challenges with one when you were using before? Or what's your background? This is your first software, or can you tell us a little bit?
Yeah, so actually this is my third B2B company, and my first one was part of a franchise organization. Sculpture Hospitality is the name of it. I own the Minnesota region, and built that into a top 10 franchise within 4 years. Most of the top guys were around 20 years. And then with that, I actually started an outbound sales agency called Lead Engine. And so we were doing outbound prospecting, cold calling, cold email, LinkedIn prospecting, video prospecting, all that kind of stuff on behalf of other clients. And we used several different tools. I don't want to necessarily throw any one tool under the bus or anything, because there's a lot of great tools, a lot of systems out there. But the challenges we were having was to do outbound prospecting, there's a lot of steps. You're using a lot of software. You got to go find leads. You got to validate email addresses. You got to upload them into your CRM or your sales outreach tool, or maybe you have a separate cold email tool that's separate from your LinkedIn tool, that's separate from an SMS platform, all that kind of stuff. So, and then the reporting side, of course, was a challenge. So by the time we ramp and train a sales rep on the process, it gets really hard to execute and maintain consistent results. And by the time you figure that out, usually your sales rep leaves and joins another company. So, the average tenure of an SDR is something like 15 months. I think maybe it's 18 months, but to get a sales rep to full productivity, it takes 15 months. So by the time you get them to full productivity, within a few months, basically they leave.
Yes.
So basically the goal of Upticks is software consolidation, and basically being a command center for all things sales. So the strategy that we'll implement is we kind of have the foundation now with what we have, and we'll start building more software tools that are custom built for Upticks. But from there, we'll build deep integrations with really popular tools. So Upticks is the command center for basically the outbound process and data centralization. So.
Okay. And from a channel perspective, is there a preferred channel you would want to focus more on, like email, cold calling, social media? Like, what's your preferred channel in terms of selling?
Cold email and calling, I would say cold email first, because you can get data and analytics and use that to your advantage for your outbound calling to maximize your time. Lead Engine actually started as just cold calling.
Okay.
And when you just do blind cold calling, getting a 1% conversion rate to a call to booking is pretty good. But we like to use cold email to send us the signals of opens, clicks and, engagement like that, and then use that to build our outbound calling list to tell us, who's at least engaged. So it shortens that list of calling, so it doesn't require as much bandwidth. So those two, I would say, are the two main ones. And one of the bigger reasons to that is because once you start getting into social, these platforms like LinkedIn, they can change the rules anytime they want. And we don't have a fully automated LinkedIn built into our system. We actually have, we built it. I decided not to put it into the platform for specific reasons. But as you know, recently LinkedIn changed the rules on connection requests and stuff like that. They're going to keep making changes like that. But email and calling will pretty much always remain the same for the most part. They've been around a long time. So those are two of the main platforms. And we have the LinkedIn stuff in there, but we'll be doing some other really cool things just to make it really easy for people to do outbound.
Okay. And if I'm not mistaken, if we buy tier 5 on Saasmantra, you would be offering a course which takes folks around the whole process in terms of outbound sales. Am I correct? Yeah.
Yeah, actually that course. So we have a university, learn.upticks.io. We have a bunch of free courses in there. There's only one paid course. It's my Cold to Gold training, which is specifically cold email. And it's a low volume, high success rate cold email course. It's not a high volume, thousands of sends a day. It's very targeted. We're shooting for 20 to 40% reply rates to book calls. So tier 5 on the Saasmantra deal gets you access to that course. We will be doing a live kickoff call and introduction to that to anyone that buys tier 5. I'll be announcing that here pretty soon, actually. But so that'll include my Cold to Gold course. Every other course in the Upticks University is actually completely free.
Okay, great. And I've seen some discussions around, some skeptics being not sure if cold emailing works anymore, or, a lot of people are hesitant around cold emailing, specifically around laws and things of that nature, anti-spam laws, right? Like, does the course cover any of those details, like in things of that nature?
Not necessarily the laws, because laws are so specific to country, but the strategy that I teach with the Cold to Gold method, since it's lower volume and higher success, you're actually doing research on each lead.
Okay.
So a lot of people, just buy a list and then they try to, email blast, as many people as they can with a template that they found and stuff like that. And this is not the strategy. And most people that have tried cold email in the past and probably failed where they didn't have the right strategy, and maybe they heard that they could just blast emails. There's a specific way that you want to do it to make sure you're not landing in spam. And I don't want to say this circumvents laws, but like we're approaching somebody one-to-one, and it's highly personalized. And I have a very specific way where we write that first cold email, and then we follow up on autopilot. So we're using a balanced approach. Most of the work happens up front, and then from there we follow up automatically with Upticks. But if someone's tried cold email in the past and it's a high volume cold email strategy, and you need to book appointments with prospects, to sell your service or sell your client service or whatever, this strategy is probably the best strategy you could implement. Where you're going to be uncomfortable is the volume. It's totally different. But I've got a lot of stats, so I can show people that this strategy is really, really good. So.
Yeah. Personally, I like that strategy as well. Like my personal way of doing things is do some research, very targeted, and I use cold calls first to get a consent, and then email. Being in Canada, with the spam laws being very strict. But having said that, I'm looking forward to learning myself a lot from your course as well. Now,
awesome.
Before we go into any, do you have anything you want to share? Like, are you able to share your screen and give us an overview?
Okay. Yeah, for sure. So I put together just a couple quick slides, and then I was planning on getting into a demo, and I actually signed up with a separate account. So I was going to walk everybody through from right when they get logged in for the first time, the onboarding experience, and then I'll get into a lot of the features, which I got a nice little list.
Perfect.
Here. So I'll show. I think what the community that you've built will really enjoy and make sure to kind of focus on some of those features, and then we'll get into FAQs and Q&A.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so so if you see, do you see a button where to share your screen in Ecamm?
I do. Okay. Yeah, let me just share and let me know when you can see my screen.
Okay, let me see. Yeah, I can see it now. So
awesome.
Go in. Let me see. 1 second. Okay, so I've removed myself from the screen, so you have the entire real estate, so that people can get a clear view of Upticks and the dashboard and how clean it is. So yes, Patrick, it's all yours. Please go ahead. Yeah.
Sounds good. I don't need to go through a whole lot of this. I'll circle back. I do have some quick FAQs and a little offer for your community at the end. But I'll get right into an Upticks overview. We'll talk about some deal specifics, and we'll go through that walkthrough. So I already gave a background to myself, so I don't want to go through any of that and bore people. Real quick high-level overview, just to make sure you get the bullet points and everyone kind of gets the bullet points. This deal on Saasmantra gets you access to our top tier on the Upticks website, which is our scale plan. So Upticks is a sequential sales automation software. It can serve as a lightweight CRM as well. It's not a Salesforce or anything like that, but if you do kind of the basic CRM stuff, it'll do that. Cold email, of course, is one piece to the omni-channel, multi-channel process. LinkedIn is a manual task scheduling for personalized one-to-one. We'll be releasing a Chrome extension for that. You can automate SMS. It has a power dialer in it to power through calls, and then you can schedule a manual test. We don't restrict any, at least at this point, like no restrictions on like how many contacts, how many sequences you can have, how many custom fields. Like we have a lot of unlimited features, unlimited templates. There's really not, the only restriction I think we really have in the system is email sends, which I'll talk about a little bit later. You can track all your opens, clicks, replies, get all your campaign stats. We have A/B testing, so you can A/B test your copy with your emails and different sequences and stuff like that. We have a lead scoring feature in the system. And with this deal, you get unlimited pipelines as well. So if you're managing your opportunities and deals, from one stage to another, you also get unlimited pipelines. So that's just a real high level overview of Upticks. It does a lot more than that, of course, but that's kind of a high level. And then let's just confirm. Can you see my screen here in the Upticks platform?
Yes, I can see your screen very clearly. I can adjust your location for the video as well. So, everyone gets an understanding of where they are in the platform once they log into their dashboard. So, awesome. Yeah.
Cool. So I'll take you on a quick test drive and show you the main features in the system. When you first sign up and you log in, you're going to be presented with this page. And just to save ourselves some support requests, we've gotten comments like, oh, I can't navigate anywhere. We're actually removing this, but follow the prompts on the screen. So our goal here is we want to walk you through some of the main parts of the platform and help you set up your account. So we want to show you the the things that are sort of the flashy things in the platform to help visualize what's capable or what you're able to do in the system. So just follow the prompts on the screen. We're actually getting rid of this menu bar here probably within the next day, just to make it easier. So just click this button to get started. Now, the first thing we're going to show you is we have pre-built sequences and email templates in the system. So depending on what your goal is, either cold outreach or lead nurturing, for instance, you can pick one of these options. So we'll go into cold outreach, for instance. And we have 4 different cold email sequences. And this is actually my sequence from the Cold to Gold course. It doesn't go over all the specifics, but it at least gives you the starting point. So you just click one of these, and we're going to show you our sequence builder. And again, the idea here is that we're just showing you really the main core functionality in the Upticks system, which is the sequential processing, which will continue to build and build and build and make even more robust and stuff like that. So this is the sequence builder. You can assign and create custom tasks. You can A/B test your different variations. You can add other tasks, email, your LinkedIn, SMS is automated, and then manual tasks. And we'll be adding a lot more features into here. The Upticks sequence builder will actually also become a workflow engine. And so it'll do a lot in the workflow side of things as well in the future. But just to continue here, the onboarding experience, we're just going to walk you through some of this. You can just click next. Sending options. We've gotten some questions on this. So we have some pretty robust sending options. You can pick the days you want a sequence to be active and actively emailing and scheduling tasks, the times of day, the user and who it's from. So you can pick contact owner, or you can hard code it. There's some sending limits. You can set at the sequence level if you only want a certain number of people enrolled a day, emails per day, whole bunch of stuff. One thing we just released last week actually is you can set the delay between your email sends to help with deliverability. So this will just help space out your emails and just make it easier to land in the inbox. One second. All right, the next step here is enrollment. So we have some robust ways to enroll people into a sequence. You can set auto enrollment. You just have to build what we call our smart lists in the system. And smart lists are just views and segments of your leads. And that's sort of the backbone of Upticks. So if you want to automate a sales process, you can just create smart lists, which contacts move in and out. And those contacts can be automatically enrolled into one process and automatically unenrolled in another process. So that's what these options are for here. On the flip side, you can manually enroll people. So if I just want to manually enroll people into a sequence, you can just you can pick people and move into put them into the sequence. So pretty simple. To go into next. So the next setup is we're just going to ask you some questions to help customize the experience. This is super simple. You're actually going to earn credits as you set this up. So we're giving away up to 200 credits, which can be used for the phone system, the SMS, and email validations, which we have built into the platform. So as you select some of these, you can pick what's important. This helps us determine what we should be building. And it also helps you customize your experience in some of our outreach and email and stuff like that. But this is just a quick questionnaire to help us understand our users, so we can build the best products possible for people that are adopting our platform. So you just fill out a couple questions. As you saw, it takes about 10 seconds. And then at this point, you're going to be taken and allowed to navigate into the Upticks platform. This, you can schedule a one-to-one call with me. I'll help you any way I possibly can. Anything from sales outreach strategies to setting up your account, whatever you want to use this time for, you can schedule a meeting with me, and I'll help you any way I possibly can as part of your onboarding experience.
That's very cool. Yes, and are you seeing users taking advantage of this, Patrick? I mean, in terms of scheduling calls.
Absolutely, yeah. I've been having probably 4 to 5 a day.
Oh, that's very good.
Yeah, so there probably isn't enough slots. I've got them in terms of 20-minute slots right now, but my calendar's gotten pretty full. So it's a good opportunity if you need help in any sort of way to take advantage of that. I do ask, if you do that, please either cancel ahead of time, or if you're not going to show up, it would really help me in terms of my scheduling. If you can't make it the call, that's probably been the only challenge with that. But now that the initial onboarding is done, where we've just showed you some things, asked some questions, you can connect. You can set up your account. You can connect your email address in the platform. You just enter your name and your email, and we're integrated with all the major players, Imap and SMTP. We've gotten a lot of questions around Imap and SMTP in the system. We do not support Amazon SES service, so I'll just throw that out there right now. We need to have incoming email capability in the platform, but super simple to connect your email address into the platform. You just enter your information here, click connect, and on the next screen, it'll have some prompts and what to do next, depending on who the provider is. You can set your email signature. This is a big one. We have gotten some questions, and I know the LTD community is big in buying lifetime deals, of course, and maybe you've already bought an email validation service. But we specifically built the email validation service inside of Upticks because the average user doesn't actually typically use email validation. Email validation a lot of times is used in sort of the growth hacker community and people doing a bigger outbound process. So we built this in native into the platform. We partnered with Zero Bounce to do it, and so this is built into the system. Your credits that you earn can be used for the service. And actually, we need to update the price. We cut the price in half. It's 0.005 cents per validation. If you want this on, you just toggle it on. That's all you do. If you don't want it on, you just keep it off, and we won't validate your emails. If you do, of course, I have this on all the time. It helps prevent bounces and stuff like that. If you turn it on, these are the codes we suggest to allow emails to be sent to. There's other codes, but that's really all you need to do if you want to take advantage of this service. You don't have to go sign up for a separate account. Same thing with our phone system. You don't have to go sign up for a separate account to do any of this with email or the phone system. It's all natively built into the platform. You can upload your contacts, of course. So just feel free to grab your CSV file, map your contacts to the fields. You can even build fields as you import your contacts right there on the screen. So it's as easy as we can possibly make it. From there, we kind of walked through this already. There's the sequence builder, of course. So I'm not going to go through this in detail again, but just know you can always relaunch a sequence right from here. You can always launch a sequence from here, or you can even click up here and launch a sequence. So lots of ways that you can launch a sequence. From this screen, you can invite your teammates, or you can invite your friends. We are connected with Zapier. We've got a lot of questions about Pabbly and stuff like that. We will build webhooks before we integrate with another data integration partner, just because it's more flexible to build webhooks, and those can be used in pretty much any integrator. So, but we've built around Zapier to begin with because they're the 500-pound gorilla.
Makes sense. Yes. A lot of interesting comments as well, Patrick. So we have a comment here from Jason. Upticks is a very interesting platform, well presented, Patrick. So that's a compliment to you. Do you have any customers who use Upticks for link building outreach, or can I use it to do link building outreach?
Absolutely, you can, for sure. Any type of outreach, Upticks can be used. I don't know all the intricacies of what every user is using Upticks for, since that might be a little creepy, but uh, any type of outreach you can use Upticks for. Any sort of cold email, calling, mail manager, LinkedIn, your SMS process, you can use it for that. So absolutely.
That's great. So, Felix, I hope that answers your question. I think another comment here. That's from Chris. Chris is a big advocate of Upticks. Patrick. I'm sure you've talked to him.
Yeah.
Chris, I hope it goes great and all the best. I'm sure because of you, we are doing this with Upticks. So thanks for bringing it to everyone's attention. Um, let me see. Oh, what's this? Hey, Nilesh, can you turn your microphone volume up a bit? Sure, I can. Let me see. Maybe I'm having some.
Is it my mic or your mic?
It's my mic. It seems like my mic.
Okay.
Hopefully, Jason. I hope you can hear me. So, any other questions, guys, so far? Sorry to interrupt you there, Patrick. Just want to
Yeah, no worries.
get things. Email finder in the pipeline. So, is there an email finder in the pipeline? Is the question for you, Patrick? Like hunter.io.
Not currently. I've spoke with a founder of a platform that has an email finder tool, and they've actually built something very interesting where their whole platform can basically get access through API. So I've considered integrating, doing like a deep integration with it, but it's not in the pipeline currently, and but it's something that has definitely been on my mind, and something based on user feedback and requests and all that kind of stuff we could certainly consider adding into the platform.
Okay. Okay. So I guess we can move forward. Yes, Patrick, go ahead, please.
Awesome. So just kind of continuing, and this really just helps with setup. So if you are going to use Upticks for the phone system, right on the onboarding screen, you can do that. We've gotten, of course, some questions around what countries are supported and stuff like that. Right now, to purchase a number directly, and we use Twilio as our provider, and Twilio is already integrated into Upticks. You don't have to have a Twilio account. Now, of course, that's sparked a little bit of controversy for some people that have had Twilio, but by and large, people really enjoyed the fact that you don't have to sign up for a Twilio account, and you don't have to sign up for a zero bounce account and stuff like that. And we'll expand on some of those integrations. But if you want to purchase a number, we have phone numbers for US, Canada, and UK currently. We're working to add more countries. So those are numbers that you can purchase, and you can take advantage of the outbound, inbound, and SMS features in the platform. Otherwise, if you just want to use outbound and you're not in one of those countries, you can connect a personal phone number in the platform, and that phone number can be used for outbound calling and even the power dialer, which I'll highlight and I'll go through in just a little bit. So there's two different ways to get a phone number into the platform. And that's about it from the setup perspective. This is just how to follow us in certain areas. So we talked about Upticks University. Feel free to go join Upticks University. We have a lot of sales courses that are free, of course. And if you buy tier 5, that's where you can get access to the cold to gold course. Otherwise, I put a decent amount of content out on YouTube. Haven't had as much time recently, but you can check that out in some of the other channels. That's the onboarding steps. Let's get into some of the kind of the meat and potatoes of the platform, although we went through sequences. I'll go through some of the other cool things that people might not be aware of with the deal. So first and foremost, I mentioned Upticks is a lightweight CRM. So what that means is you can build as many custom fields as you want, and you can manage your contact records, and it's gonna store all of your activity and history and changes on those contact records forever. So you can do things like email them one-to-one. You can send SMSs one-to-one. I don't have some of these configured. You can call. You can create manual tasks. You can log notes. You can log events. And we're actually building a calendaring feature. I'll talk about that after a while. That'll integrate with the calendar as well. So in addition to storing, all the CRM type features, so, where you generated the leads, tags, if it's associated to any sort of company, deals. So there's quite a bit in terms of the CRM functionality of the platform to just manage contact records from lead all the way through being a customer and managing, your lead statuses, lead scores, all that kind of stuff. So that's kind of the main CRM type functionality. Of course, there's deal management, which I can get to in a second. But as mentioned, Upticks can be used as a lightweight CRM, and you can do a lot of things just from a lead management perspective.
Very cool. I have a question for you, Patrick. And
yeah.
So this is all web-based, right? Like, do you have any plans to release any native apps for Windows or Macs, or anything of that sort? Because you're packing a lot of functionality and features into your CRM, into your dialer. We can get into those details once you get to that. But are you planning any native apps?
We are not. The app that we'd probably build next would be a mobile app.
Okay.
Just to broaden the spectrum a little bit in terms of the functionality. So we'll likely build a lightweight mobile app first before we would do any sort of desktop app. But that is not out of the question. I mean, obviously we're young and ambitious, so or at least the product's young. I'm getting a little older, but we're still ambitious.
No. This is great. I mean, this. At some stage in my sales process, I used to use an CRM called Close.io, and this is very, very powerful, right? And Close.io costs a fortune. So this looks very promising, and hence I'm asking. Is there any plans for any apps? So,
I know Close obviously has that. We used at my agency. We use Close a lot. We use several different tools, but we used it was Close.io at the time, and so I'm very, very familiar with their product for sure.
Okay. And in terms of the features which you add, right? So as you said, you're a young company. There is a lot more to come than what you actually see, which is already a lot. So will those features be available to the early adopters who buy into your LTD offer right now, or will there be any add-ons for them in future? Have you thought about
for sure. I will say it depends on the feature. So there's a lot of features within the platform, of course, that we keep enhancing and will always enhance, and people will be able to take advantage of that as a lifetime deal purchaser. So we'll continue to develop that. Where there may be an add-on and stuff like that, I'll have an offer for everyone. Would be, if we're building a product that another company is monetizing, for instance, there would, for instance, AI generated email intros, or like a Calendly type system built in. Like, we're going to continue to develop applications and tools, and we'll just have to kind of pick and choose on what we make part of the LTD and what we don't. And one way or another, there'll be an offer for the LTD members to get a discount, even if we do charge extra. But we're building a lot of functionality into the system that will absolutely be included as part of the LTD. So if it gets included into the Upticks scale plan on our website, it will be part of the LTD. So any new features that we build that is included in our top tier plan on the website, it's going to get included into the LTD. And I did that specifically because I don't want to have to version control everything. So I just want, anytime we added a new feature to the scale plan, I want the LTD users to get access to that. So there'll be a lot of things that we build that will get included in there. But some of those things that are, monetizable from like other companies and stuff like that, there might end up being, we have a lot of products scoped to build. So we're just scratching the surface now.
And the reason I'm asking this question,
I'm having a hard time hearing you.
how about now? Can you hear me now very clearly?
Yeah. That's way better. Thanks.
Okay. All right. So my question is around the reason I asked you that question, Patrick, is in the past, we have, like a very, very active LTD community, and
Yep.
a lot of people suddenly get disappointed because, a good feature gets added into a plan, organizations change their plan names and conventions, and then suddenly say, hey, this is not included, right? I mean, we
Yep.
don't want that to happen to our users. So, uh,
Yep.
is like, I mean, maybe it is best to clarify if you are going to add a plan, an enterprise plan on top of that, because for the users it would be something around, hey, I subscribe to the top plan, that's what you offered, why am I not getting that feature, right? So
Right.
so for most part, users should expect that a feature will be added, unless
Yep.
under
Yeah.
some extraordinary circumstances you'll keep a feature here and there for enterprise kind of plan, right?
For sure. Or it'll be offered as a separate product within the Upticks infrastructure. Well, I'll just show you kind of like some examples. For instance, like in our feature requests, like a lot of people are voting on voicemail drops. That's something that we'll build and include in the scale plan, and I'm not going to charge extra, for something like that. So pre-recorded voicemail messages, conditional sequence logic, which we don't have today. These are things that'll get built in and included as part of the LTD offer. So there's round robin distribution, like stuff like that. We'll build in, and that'll be included in the LTD. So the LTD offer will continue to get better and better and better. The only area I'm going to cut it off is if there's somebody, another company that's a very feature rich, basically another product within Upticks, or there's significant costs
Okay.
associated. So like email introduction lines with GPT-3, for instance, we're building that right now. That costs a lot of money actually to operate. And so those are instances that, we'll definitely charge, we'll need to charge extra, but any of those features for any LTD purchaser, we'll make sure to have an exclusive discount and offer for those types of features.
Okay, great. Okay.
Yeah.
And in terms of Twilio, the way users can use those credits, I think you're charging cost plus some additional percentages. Am I correct?
Yeah, we've gotten beat up about it a little bit. I'll kind of laugh about it. So yeah, we charge Twilio rates plus 5%.
Okay.
And the 5% is to cover our processing fees, basically. I mean,
Yes.
we're not getting rich on we're not making any money on the Twilio fees, and considering we give away free credits
Yes.
in the platform, like we're really losing money on it. I think a lot of the LTD community probably already has a Twilio account and stuff like that. So we couldn't really forecast that everyone, not everyone, a lot of people had their own Twilio account and they want to integrate it outside of doing the native Upticks integration. So we'll definitely be adding that capability to connect your own Twilio account, which in that case, there's no additional, costs or fees or anything like that. I don't have to mark it up, but even 5% is pretty nominal. Most people, upcharge for the price of phone numbers, the price of calling rates, significantly on top of what we're doing. So
Yes, and I mean, certainly, like we are like in my other business, we are a Twilio and a Cisco partner. We
Nice.
design a lot of contact centers actually for UCCX, UCC, Twilio Flex, and that's
Awesome.
very reasonable, 5%, I would say, because we charge a lot more. So
Yeah.
yes, I would say, I mean, 5% is very. There is another platform which I bought on AppSumo called Outplay, and
Yep.
it's a great platform. They're doing well. I see you're adding a lot more features faster, which is interesting.
Yeah.
And so I'm, of course, I'm really excited for you. We're rooting for you, but yeah, I mean, they have a similar policy, I believe. So you're
Yep.
doing in terms of, I mean, that's very reasonable. And compared to getting to be an early adopter for such a platform is quite amazing for me, and for a lot of people. I hope they share that sentiment. So,
Yeah.
okay, Patrick. So more interruption there, but we can continue with what you have to show. I have a few questions around Power Dialer side because as
Yeah.
I mentioned to you, contact center is our forte. Like I can talk about contact center features for days and hours. So, but
Nice.
yes, go ahead. Yeah, please.
Awesome. Yeah, I'll make sure to tackle that. That was on my list of things to talk about it in the Power Dialer for sure. So let me. I could actually. I could hop into another account and probably give a live demo of the Power Dialer.
Okay.
So just to kind of finish up though, just on the core functionality of the system, we've made it really easy to add lists. We call them smart lists. Other companies call them different things, but you can filter your leads any way you want, and you save those, and they're going to show up in this list. So they're just quick access lists, and you can edit your lists and what's viewed on that left panel just by clicking over here. So you can really customize your view and your experience. Really, this concept is on almost every screen. So you can see the things that really matter most to you. So that's kind of some just basic navigation within the platform. Now, in terms of like the outbound, you can do anything from manual email to bulk email to automating, sequences, automating SMS, stuff like that. This is kind of the manual process. And I walked through, of course, the sequence builder, which you could automate a lot of that. Now, getting into the Power Dialer. So basically, obviously, what this does is it helps you power through a list of leads. And actually, maybe I will just sign up for a phone number real quick and just give you guys a live demo. So let me pop over into the system settings. If you didn't set up a phone number on the home screen, you can do so in the settings, and you just go to settings, email and phone numbers. We click add. I'm in Minnesota, so I could go and grab a Minnesota number in here. Just takes a second to load. I'll hit buy. As I mentioned, so Twilio charges us $1. So as I mentioned, we've got the 5%. So now I've got that added. I can configure a voicemail message for that. Now, if we go back into our people, just show you a quick demo of the Power Dialer. Let's make sure my settings are on. If you want call recording, you just click here, click on the settings, and you can turn on call recording. All right, but the Power Dialer is this is a live demo, so let's we'll see how it performs. All right. One thing I did not check is to make sure our phone numbers are updated. I know these contacts are like fake contacts, so I didn't check to make sure. I don't know if Dan's on the call or not, if you see him or not, but here we go.
I can give you my number.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me just
So
1 second. All right.
So Nilesh, Nilesh, and then my number is +1 647 700 8200.
All right. Well, we'll give this a shot. Just make sure my settings. Give it a. All right, so of course, live demo. I'm gonna have a little bit of a challenge here. So,
Oh, Chris is saying bulk selected. You have to select the.
Yeah, maybe I should. 1 second. I just want to make sure that I've got some of my settings updated, just in case I missed a step. All right, so I'm gonna have a little technical difficulty here apparently. Let me just call I'll log into my actual account versus my test account quick.
Okay.
So just make sure we've got it all set up. So we'll get into it live. All right, here we go. All right, so now I'm in my actual account here. So as you saw there, it connected. I can disposition my notes. I can leave my notes. I can disposition it. I hit save, and it'll move on to the next call. But of course, I just gave a live demo of this on a sales call earlier. I hope my team's not updating the live server, so that's that could be a challenge. So anyway, we'll move on.
Okay.
I'm guessing we're pushing an update to the live server because I just used this about 15 minutes before the call, and yeah, so that's what it is. We're pushing a lot of feature updates into the platform with all the feedback we're getting, as obviously we've added hundreds of users in the last week. So let's go back into the beta account.
Okay.
Yeah, they're definitely pushing. Sorry, I guess this is the joy of live calls.
No worries. Happens
All right.
happens to me all the time. So
I probably should have prepped my team to ask them not to do any live updates. So while I'm on this call, but anyway, typically what'll happen here, just to not dwell on that, is you can set your buffer in between calls. So once the call's ended, then there'll be a little counter that will count down from whatever you set here, and then it'll automatically move on to the next call. So that's really the concept there with the power dialer. And of course, you've got the features to set your call recording and stuff like that. So aside from that, you can manage tags. You can add tags. You can manually validate emails. I think. All right, I just got to chat. The reason why the power dialer did not work is I don't have my I'm negative on my balance. So the calling system requires to have the meter balance, of course, set up. So if I update my charge or like add a balance into my platform, then I'd actually be able to use it, since it's using Twilio and it costs money each call. That is the reason why it's not working.
okay.
So explained. So
okay.
Aside from that, you can manage deals, of course. Go ahead.
So in terms of power dialing, in terms of contacts, there is a lot of things around. So you're almost building, I would say, like some of the contact center features here
Yes.
into the dialer, right? Now,
Yep.
how do the leads get assigned to a particular? Can I do a leads management in terms of assigning to a particular user? Does it do like who has been reached? Does it tag the dialer tag who has been reached? Records the conversation and all that stuff. And then
Yep.
how many times can you redial if they haven't picked up? So does it do all the dial management in terms of the current state as far as the dialer is concerned? And then there are different types of dialing as well, like predictive dialing, or do you plan to can you talk a little bit about progressive dialing or direct preview dialing, like so we go into a whole bunch of things. So are we going to keep it simple, or should we expect a lot more features in terms of your dialer?
Initially, we'll keep it simple here,
Yeah.
and based on feedback. So right now, it's a workflow optimization tool to grab your list and power through the leads and the list as fast as you can. In terms of predictive dialing or automating things from there, we'll continue to expand on it just based on user feedback and requests and all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot that we can do, of course, to expand. We're getting requests for voicemail drops, as mentioned,
Yes.
Stuff like that. So we'll continue to build on that feature for sure.
Very cool. If you need any interesting features, or if you want to look at what Cisco UCCX looks like, or I'd be happy to show you, Patrick, offline. I mean, on another
Yeah,
call. Yeah. But yeah, we do a lot of contact center stuff, and this does look very, very promising, I would say.
awesome.
No, so are we sharing anything else, or can we go back to our previous screens? Or
I've got plenty I can share. So it just depends on how deep we want to get with showing the different parts of the system. Of course, there's template management. People have been asking about snippets. Snippets, I wouldn't mind explaining here just for a second. Are basically a way to manage like just consistent questions you might get. You could manage objections, but one feature that's sort of a hidden gem on this is we actually have a spin tax feature in the platform. So if you want to change up your copy in an email, you can actually do that by here. I'll just put like an example. Let's just say you want to swap out any word in an email template. You can just type in a word. Just put whatever word you want, and you can add different variations of that word. And when I'm not going to go through the whole thing there, but when you create a template, there's a function in the system where you can tag a snippet group. So like this, for instance, I might have had like 5 different snippets on that snippet group, and the system will actually rotate the responses. So that's one little kind of hidden gem that we really haven't even promoted in the system. So that helps obviously just vary up your email content for cold email and stuff like that. Takes a little effort, of course, to set up, but that's definitely a hidden gem in the platform. And some of the other things I just want to tackle real quick in terms of sort of the core functionality we talked about, like there's lead scoring. So you can build your lead scoring rules really any way you want. So if your contacts are, interested, not interested, you can add lead scores. If people are, opened emails a certain number of time, you can enter, a score. And then based on what you set over here in the cold, warm, hot settings, it's going to be indicated as a cold lead, warm lead, hot lead. And you can build entire lead lists based around that functionality to make sure you're focusing on this specific lead. So that's a big one in the platform. And another little hidden gem is this name correction feature. So when a contact comes in, if you're using this, we'll actually correct the upper and lowercase capitalization issues that might be in an email. Like people are like sometimes don't capitalize the first letter of their name, or they capitalize the entire thing. or they might even have an emoji in their name or something like that, or they might have like the word like doctor in their name and you don't want it to be there. Or they might have the word, I've seen this, they might have the word ninja in their name. So this will actually help correct the names as they come in. So when you have like autoresponders and stuff like that set up in the platform, that it'll help correct any of those issues. And then the last kind of like little hidden gem that I want to show is the sending safety. So you can set to make sure that people aren't getting multiple emails within a certain time parameter. So you just select, there's an option between days and hours. So if you don't want somebody to get, multiple emails within a 12-hour period, we'll make sure that they don't get multiple emails. And then you can apply that rule to either manual emails, bulk emails, or your sequence emails. And then you've got a little blacklist. You can blacklist certain domains, for instance, from receiving emails just by typing those in there. So those are a couple of the little hidden gems in the platform that we probably haven't like promoted all that much, but just really help from an overall infrastructure perspective. So I wanted to highlight those.
Okay. So guys, do you we still have a few people watching live. Do you have any questions? This is the time to ask any questions as well. And let me just look at the comments as well. Give me a minute here, Patrick.
Yeah.
Okay, so Hosekar has a comment here. Hi there. Is Upticks comparable to HubSpot CRM, but also including automations and workflows?
Yes. So I've used HubSpot a lot in the past, going back to my agency. So if you're using HubSpot mostly for sales, I don't want to. Upticks will probably do a lot more in terms of automation. So it's going to do some of the like core, like kind of CRM type stuff that we talked about, of course, but then help you do a lot more. There's a lot more automation in the, in the sequencing side of things that that HubSpot does not do. So there's kind of a robust opportunity there, and especially with HubSpot, it starts to get pretty expensive to do some of their premium features and stuff like that in the platform. So absolutely could be a HubSpot replacement in that regard.
I have a question for you, Patrick.
Yep.
So a particular customer, and I don't know if you showed that to me earlier, but in HubSpot, I can integrate my Twilio account and I can see the entire customer journey, the history, all the emails exchanged with the customer, my call recordings, and all my notes and tasks. Right? Do I see that for every single customer in Upticks as of today? And if not, like, is there any plans to add that?
Absolutely. So this is a new account, so I don't have all the history there, but all of that history will show up here, and you can actually filter by clicking here. You can filter out, like for instance, if I remove that one, it's not going to show the property updates. But since this is a new account, there's no activity history there. You can do all of that within the platform. So let me. I must have forgot my password on that account, but I'll get into kind of a real life account here. So just to show you an example. All right, so here's kind of a real world example.
Oh, very cool. Yes.
So here's where it's going to show all the history of that particular contact, all the updates, call tasks, emails, everything. And if you want to filter out certain things, as I mentioned before, you just filter there, and you can view what's there. But this will keep a record and a log of everything. So that's kind of that CRM functionality, of course, that we spoke about.
Very cool. Yeah. This is a very important feature for sure. I mean, so you can track the entire customer history, and in call recordings and so on as well, right?
Yep. Yeah, the call recordings will show up here. Yeah, voicemails that you might have, inbound calls. It will log everything at the contact record. As long as there's a unique identifier, of course, phone number or email address for that particular contact. And you can always see the history of like sequences that people enrolled. You can see which steps and stuff like that they're in. You can unenroll them and all that stuff. So it'll keep a history of everything we possibly can.
Very
Here
cool.
on the screen. So
Very cool. There is a question here from Tony. Tony is asking a question. I saw on an email of upcoming Upticks scheduler. Where is the estimate release? When is the estimate release date? Yeah.
scheduler. Okay, so I think that's the
Calendar, I think.
Yeah, the calendaring. So we just started development on that. I don't have an exact date, and it's a pretty big product to build. So I would imagine within the next couple of months that we'll have we're calling it internally right now. We're calling it booked up for that particular product. So, but I don't have an exact date for that. We do have, and we'll keep updated the roadmap within the feedback.upticks.io. So if you go to feedback here, we will we'll be keeping this updated. We'll try to update it, on a regular basis and show everyone what's in progress, what's planned, and what's obviously completed. So keep your eye out on this, and we'll kind of help, I guess, with any sort of clarity on new products and features. So
Okay, great. And Chris is asking, what's the signals?
Good question. So the signals are basically email opens, link clicks, unsubscribes, stuff like that. So you actually see a lot of that information also here. But if you want to come into the signals tab, you can filter by all your signals. Any unsubscribes you might have, all your email opens, stuff like that. So this will basically show everything, and then you could technically, this is actually my live account. So for instance, Chris opened, who's asking the question, Chris opened just ask email. So I could type in, I guess, his full name, but this is going to show you in real time the activity that's going on with your, and we call them signals because they're like sales signals, right? Email opens, link clicks, all that stuff, and replies come into the task inbox. So this all comes in real time. If you want to get rid of your notifications there, which are basically the same thing, you can clear that out. But here's a more robust way to view all of these. And actually, we're going to be consolidating the tasks and signals tab with a new release that we're going to be implementing here pretty soon. So it'll actually just be one screen. But good question, Chris. Thanks for reminding me of that one on my list.
Okay, so Chris, I hope that answers it. If there is any other questions, keep them coming, guys. And in the meantime, so from the webhooks and API perspective, right? Like, I mean, are you integrating with any type of? I think I saw some of your comment that you would be integrating with possibly some LinkedIn lead generation tools as well. You're not possibly going to look into developing your own. Maybe you will look into integrating with someone so you'll have leads incoming. But also, you can send the data out of Upticks as well, like using webhooks, APIs, anything of that sort.
Yeah. So right now, you could do webhook with Zapier, but we'll be building our own.
You mentioned yes.
Yeah, we'll be building our own webhook infrastructure to help integrate other tools. Some systems will integrate directly into the platform. For instance, we actually built a fully automated LinkedIn system. We just decided not to include it in the platform, as things with LinkedIn are always changing. But part of the goal will be to eventually build in native, like, a LinkedIn, whatever, so some popular LinkedIn tools into the sequence builder, so you can kind of control your sales sequence and process from one location. So that'll get built into the sequence builder eventually. So with webhooks.
Okay.
Yep. Good
Okay,
question.
and then we have a question from Tony again. How do I access the Code to Gold course if I full stacked? So
yeah, so I'm gonna.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've got a webinar tomorrow on the Saasmantra Facebook page, actually, that I'll be doing an announcement for that. Right now, you can request access if you have. So I'm going to be doing an official launch of that Cold to Gold course. So in the learn.upticks.io, you can come in here and request access, and some people already have. But once we do that launch, then I'll get everyone. Part of it is I have to validate everyone that bought tier 5. I don't actually get real-time information on who bought tier 5. I wish I did, but that's kind of part of the gap in the process that we have so far. But I will be, if you purchase tier 5, you will get access to this. So just come into here, request access, and then look out for communication from me on an official, little launch date for that. Because this course will include live support calls. So you're not going to just get access to the course and the materials. You're actually going to get access to live support calls, which I'll be helping you implement, the cold email strategy and stuff like that to help subsidize the coursework that I have in here. So I want to do an official kickoff and kind of go over, do an overview, of course, of the course, and then plan out live calls with everyone. So I want to get feedback on some of the best times that we can do live calls, because people will be part of this from different countries and stuff like that. So I want to make sure that I can do those live calls at a time that most people can join them. So, but I will just keep an eye out on your email and the Saasmantra group. Good question, for sure.
Okay.
Couple of things I know people that I wanted to just go over real quick. I know stats have been a big question on how do stats look and all that kind of stuff. So when you launch a sequence, you've got a summary of all your stats right here on the stats page. You can get an information on all your emails. If you have A/B tests, you can see the data on all your A/B tests and even your archived versions. So this is kind of the quick stats page. I don't have any SMS or tasks built into this. You can look at your charts and change the charts up to look at your trends and stuff like that in the system. And you can associate deals to particular sequences, so you can gauge the effectiveness of particular sequences and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's one thing I wanted to make sure to tackle on this call as well. And then I want to go, here's some quick FAQs. I just wanted to just go over some big questions I know in the LTD community.
Sure.
We've been getting asked a lot, of course, stacking.
Yes.
We decided to make our offer more flexible, but unfortunately, I think people are a little bit confused about it and kind of asking about stacking. When you purchase the deal, let's just say you purchase tier 5, you get 10 users, you're going to get a code for every single user, and each of those codes can either be used as an account or a user, and you do not have to redeem them all right away. So it's flexible. You don't have to redeem all the codes into one account. You can redeem them really any way you want. as a user or an account, and it doesn't have to be done right away. So the whole stacking concept is a little bit different. We've tried to make it a little bit more flexible, but I think unfortunately it's maybe confused a few people. So that's one big one that I wanted to sort of tackle. And then this one we've gotten a lot, like what plan am I getting with Upticks? And I mentioned earlier, it's the scale plan. And we will continue to make enhancements to that. So those are two of the big ones in terms of the deal. Yep. And there's a bunch of other FAQs. I don't know how much time we've got here, how long we want this call to go or not, but
yeah, we can cover it. We can cover it. I'm sure, because we have users from all different types of time zones. There will be a lot of people who watch the recording, and then you will have questions. So we can cover it in the interest of time. Yeah, for sure. In the interest of the community, but as long as you're okay for time, I'm okay. Yes.
For sure. Yeah. Let me just double check on my calendar. I know I've got 14 minutes until my next call, so I'll try to bust through some of these. We do have email send limits, so it's 500 per day per email address. I know we get a lot of questions on why do you do that and stuff like that. So there's a lot of reasons for it. Obviously, we want to make sure that bandwidth and users have a good experience. We also need to make sure that the platform doesn't get abused and stuff like that. So that's one. We are looking to increase that, but I'm going to have a little offer for that. We've got a lot of questions on can you integrate with insert this company, and obviously we can. The best way is to submit feedback. So submit feedback. There's an integration request page. As we can see, some of the votes, and so go onto that page and vote. And that's going to help point us in the right direction. Kind of similarly, like when will you build, insert feature? And I think most people probably wouldn't show you this, but I'll just show it to you guys. We're going to build things as fast as we possibly can. And this isn't just me building it. I have a whole team, our own, obviously, internal team, but like we have a lot of things that we're building and managing. This is just this week. We're going to build things as fast as we can, but we'll be prioritizing based on feature requests and then our long-term vision for the product. So right now, we just launched the deal last Monday. And so I don't, obviously I didn't know what to anticipate and what would happen, of course, but right now we're working out some of the kinks in the platform. We're taking some of that feedback and we're making changes in real time as fast as we possibly can. Once the dust settles here, I'm going to be able to put together a little bit more cohesive of a plan on, features and when they're going to get built and stuff like that. Right now, things are changing sometimes by the minute. So with hundreds of users in a short condensed period of time, we'll be able to get to the priorities at some point. I think I mentioned this earlier. We don't have Amazon SES capability. We don't have a fully LinkedIn automated system, although we will plan to integrate with a system that can help you do that. And you can build into the sequence builder your LinkedIn prospecting tasks. We will be building the ability to connect your own Twilio account into the platform. So again, I don't have timelines on all this stuff. Once the dust settles, we'll be able to plan and keep everybody updated accordingly. What countries are supported from a phone system? I think I answered that earlier. US, Canada, UK. We will be working to add more countries. There's just legalities that we have to look into. Some countries require physical address location validation and stuff like that. So we'll be adding countries as fast as we can. How we handle deliverability. This is a loaded question that people have been kind of asking. So we connect with your SMTP. So your sending reputation really matters. So make sure, your SPF and, everything in terms of your DNS records and stuff like that are set up appropriately. That is a big impact in terms of deliverability. Reduce links, reduce HTML, reduce images. That all impacts it. But we also implemented that feature I showed just a little bit ago in the platform that you can change the delay between your emails. This will also make a difference too. All right. And then our emails are sent as like a normal sales email. It's not a marketing builder. So all that stuff impacts deliverability, but it's going through your SMTP. So your domain reputation really does matter. Meter balance, we've gotten this question, and obviously I just had the live snafu with the metered balance and not being able to use the power dialer. The meter balance helps operate Twilio, outbound, inbound calling, SMS, and or email validations. So I'm in a different account now, but I have a meter balance that pays for those services. So if you're going to use SMS, inbound, outbound calling with a Twilio number, or email validations, you got to connect a payment method, and you can set up auto pay. You can add to your balance. For instance, I can just add funds to my balance. Pretty easy. I just need to have a payment method, of course, set up, and you can set up auto pay rules. But the metered balance is for those extra services. If you're not using those, you don't really need to worry about your methods and balances. Just make sure that your email validations are turned off. That's one thing that has sort of tripped people up, is this is on. This is a metered balance service. All right. And then this one's also a loaded question, but we've gotten a lot of support requests on like, why isn't my sequence sending? There's a lot of factors that could be impacting this. Everything from not having an email account set up into the platform, the contacts that you're sending to. If you have email validations and these rules set up, it's not going to send to contacts that don't have the rules that you allow. Also, your sending safety. So if that contact has already received an email and you have sending safety on, it's not going to send another email within the time parameter you have set. Outside of that, there's some settings, of course, that I'd like to point out. If you have contact owner assigned, you need to make sure you have contact owners assigned to the people in your database. Otherwise, it won't send. All right. Those are kind of the main ones. But that's been a big question overall. The last one that I'll point out is if you created a sequence in the system and you came back later after you created it and then you manually enrolled contacts into it, it could take up to an hour for those contacts to start getting emails. All right, so if you create a sequence and then save it and then don't enroll anybody, once you start enrolling people, it can take a little time for those contacts to start processing. So we have certain cron jobs and things that schedule all these tasks to be done. Sometimes those depending on when they get scheduled, it can take a little time. So that's the last kind of quick FAQ. So
okay, Patrick. So we have a few more questions really quick. When do you anticipate I could use my own VoIP mobile number through your system?
Yeah, so this is going to fall into the when will you build like insert feature.
Yeah.
Right now, just with launching the deal last Monday, the dust is still getting kicked up.
Yeah.
I can't forecast really when things are going to get done quite at this moment. I will tell you that one I think is high on the request page, if I'm understanding the question correctly. I think there was a Twilio, like integrate my own Twilio request. That might be in the integrations page. Yeah, Twilio integration for existing accounts. That'll probably fall within that one. And as you see, there's a lot of people that have voted on it. So in terms of like once the dust kind of settles here a little bit, I'll be able to get in and start prioritizing these things and have a little bit better of an understanding of when we can get to some of these. But right now it's hard to give a timeline because I'm getting a lot of questions on when this feature and that feature and another feature can get added. We're going to be building things as fast as we possibly can. So it's hard to say on everything.
Yeah, I think what Naz, who's asking this question, what he means is maybe he wants to see how he can display his own DID or like anything of that sort. Not sure.
Number 3. So that question.
Oh, you can use your own. Chris is saying you can use your own numbers for outgoing calls currently. So yeah, that's what.
Yeah. So for outbound calls, you can do that for currently. I guess maybe I misunderstood the question, but when you add a phone number down here, you can actually you can add a personal number. It does only work for outbound calling though. If you add a personal number, so just enter your number there and you'll get a code.
Yeah, that's what you probably need, especially for outbound calls, as long as the party at the other end can recognize who's calling. I think that does the job. So thanks, Chris, for answering that question. And So currently, is it simple to export contacts via CSV that I can take converted clients and add them to my client email marketing platform whilst you're working on webhooks?
Yeah. Sorry. Got real time. I'm in my real account actually here. So you can grab a smart list, you can filter any way you want, and you can export contacts. Click on the More button, hit Export, and you can export by selected fields. So like the fields that are shown on the page, or you can select all fields and hit Export. Once you hit that, you're going to get emailed the export. It might take a little bit of time depending on how big your export is. But you'll get an email with a link to download that export.
Okay. Last question. I know you have the hard stop at 12:30, Patrick. So if we are at full stack, we get 10 users, I believe. Our team grows. We still get to keep those 10 users for the lifetime and just do add-ons when it comes to additional growth, and you will bill us for the additional users. Am I correct?
Yeah. So if once you run out of codes, you run out of codes, of course, but you'll be able to add users into your account still. It would be at the monthly subscription rate. We'll probably have some sort of discount for the LTV buyers for that. Once we get to that point, once the LTV ends, we'll probably have, when we start getting those requests, we'll have a code to get a little discount on the monthly subscription if you need to add users.
Very cool. Well, thank you, Patrick. With that, I think you've done a great job giving a great overview. And I'm really excited for Upticks and for you with what you bring to the table here and into the community. I really appreciate your time, going through the overview, taking all these questions, and you have your team joined in our community. So feel free to post your links, and then so that users can keep in touch with you. And then if there are any follow-up questions in the community, then your team can answer them as well. So I appreciate your time today, and all the best with Upticks.
Awesome, thanks. I appreciate you inviting me on, of course. If anyone ever has any questions, I'm more than happy to answer any sort of questions. We probably only scratched the surface in terms of what we got to in the platform today, and obviously we had the little power dialer snafu with not having the credits. So I'd love to, if anyone has any questions, feel free to reach out. We're happy to answer questions and help you make a decision on whether you want to invest in the LTD or not. But we're working hard to build a really good product, and I think what we have so far is really good, but it's just sky the limit from here. So thanks everyone for your support up to this point. If you have any questions and you haven't bought the deal, head over to the Saasmantra page and buy the deal, and we look forward to servicing you.
Yeah, I would highly personally recommend Upticks. So thank you. Thanks a lot, Patrick.
Awesome.
And all the best. Thank you.
Thanks, Nilesh. Appreciate it. Bye, guys.
Bye.